So Patrick Reed left LIV Golf earlier this year, but he returned to the DP World Tour for this month's BMW PGA Championship at Wentworth. As the golf divide rages on, Reed claims that his DP World Tour login credentials haven't functioned for 2 weeks. The man's quite a figure to say the least, and this is just one more news headline. Keep watching as we look at what Reed has said this time and much more. First up, let's look at Reed's great performance at Wentworth. You'll remember that Reed made the very controversial switch to LIV and has competed in 4 of the Series 5 tournaments this year. It seems like the man has been having issues with everyone lately. The American most recently teed it up in Chicago with his former LIV Golf defectors, finishing in a tie for 12th after shooting 5 under par for the tournament over 3 rounds. But Reed and his 4 aces teammates had better luck in the team event and came out on top once again. Along with their individual earnings, Reed, Dustin Johnson, Pat Perez, and Taylor Gooch each received £650,000 in team prize money. That's a hefty amount, and of course, the individual payout is massive too. After all, the 32-year-old's 12th place result earned him £291,000 in the individual event, giving him a total of £941,000 for his impressive performance in Chicago. Following his celebrations at Rich Harvest Farms, the former Masters winner spoke to the media, revealing that the continuing issue between the DP World Tour and the PGA Tour had taken a new turn. Next up, let's look more into his claims and whether they're actually true. So Reed, or Captain America as he's sometimes called, told Golf.com's Sean Zak that his DP World Circuit login information had been compromised. In his eyes, this was because of recent disputes between the tour and LIV golfers. This comes only a week after the 32-year-old returned to the Wentworth-based circuit, where he and his fellow defectors are called out by both Rory McIlroy and Billy Horschel for making a controversial comeback to the DP World Tour. And the man definitely retaliated, claiming that he'd done as much, if not more, for the European-based tour as those criticizing him. He also spoke out about how the behavior was insulting, especially since he feels that he's contributed more to this tour than Billy has, and has played nearly as much as Rory has over the last 5 years. And here's the thing, when Mirror Sport asked about Reed's accusations and whether they had any truth to them, the answer wasn't really surprising. The DP World Tour confirmed that his access to the main player page was functioning normally, and that they have other tournament-specific sites that are updated regularly and have unique logins. So we don't really know what Reed was thinking here. Maybe call the DP World Tour helpline or IT department. That's probably going to help more than press conferences or interviews, we're pretty sure. Next up, Patrick lashes out at French Open organizers. The former world number 6 has lashed out against the DP World Tour, calling his tournament at the French Open a slap in the face. That's quite the strong temperament, but what exactly happened to make Reed so angry? Well, he's now allowed to participate on the DP World Tour due to a judicial decision that temporarily lifted the prohibition on individuals who'd signed with Greg Norman's tour. But this is good news, right? It would have been if Reed had felt that the reception was even remotely welcoming. He claims that he wasn't invited to the Pro-Am in the days leading up to the first round, and that he wasn't asked to attend the pre-tournament media conference. It's a slap in the face not to invite me to the press conference, or not to have me play the Pro-Am and all those things, he told Journal du Golf. Reed also says that he was hidden in the draw, distant from the headline matches. And let's not forget, Captain America has been barred from competing in the PGA Tour's President's Cup too. His anger at the treatment must hit deep. After all, he was a member of 3 victorious President's Cup teams, most recently at Royal Melbourne in 2019, when his caddy got into a fight with a fan. Seems like trouble seems to follow him wherever he goes. Let's look at how he's now filed a $750 million slander lawsuit against Golf Channel. Yup, you heard us. Attorneys for the pro golfer refiled his $750 million defamation lawsuit against the Golf Channel and commentator Randall Chambly in federal court in Jacksonville, Florida. They also ended up adding other Golf Channel workers and media entities to the case. The Golf Channel, Golf Week, and its parent company, Gannett, are accused of conspiracy, defamation, defamation, injurious falsehood, and tortious interference. It's not just the companies though. He's also targeting workers Chambly, Damon Hack, Shane Bacon, and Eamon Lynch. The defendants called Reed a cheater, liar, a thief, a murderer, and someone who accepts blood money from terrorists, according to the news release. Yikes. This comes after he withdrew from the PGA Tour, which has harshly punished its members for participating in LIV Golf tournaments without conflicting event releases. The 9-time PGA Tour champion earned more than $37 million during his career. And in another lawsuit, LIV Golf and 3 of its players have filed a federal antitrust complaint against the PGA Tour, charging it with unjustly suspending them and suppressing competition with its monopolistic position. Next up, what's the LIV versus PGA Tour trial about? So according to the lawsuit, the PGA Tour and its player ban have impacted a lot of golfers. Most importantly, they don't really get endorsement deals and sponsorships anymore. After all, the tour is the only golf tour in the United States that's televised so much. And no matter the complaints against it, the American tour earns far more in sponsorship, advertising, and broadcast money than any other golf tour. This obviously doesn't go over well with the LIV defectors, but the case is falling apart before it even begins properly, because Abraham Answer, Carlos Ortiz, Pat Perez, and Jason Kochrick are no longer involved in the case. The biggest names in the 105-page complaint were Phil Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau, and even lefties thinking about withdrawing. And that's not all. The PGA Tour also scored an early legal victory when 3 LIV players were denied a temporary restraining order that would have allowed them to compete in the FedEx Cup playoffs. At first, 11 players were designated as plaintiffs. Coming up next, didn't Patrick Reed defect to spend more time with his family? Okay, so here's the thing. Honesty really is the best policy. These LIV defectors didn't like the questions and rumors about their financial motives, right? So many of them ended up saying that they were switching because of the decreased workload. But that's not true at all. Patrick Reed has been named as a competitor in the forthcoming Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, one of the most prestigious awards on the DP World Tour, even after a drop in his official world golf ranking and an open slot in his calendar. He was rated number 25 in January, after dropping to number 38 when he announced his departure from the PGA Tour for LIV Golf in June. And now, there's no possibility of accumulating OWGR points on the LIV circuit, so he'll be playing in 5 straight weeks with his selection in the Dunhill. And you have to remember, when the 2018 Masters champion and 9-time winner joined LIV Golf, he told us he was tired of the PGA Tour's continuous grind. He's competed in 16 PGA Tour tournaments, 4 LIV events, and now 2 DP World Tour events in 2022. Reed will have played 26 tournaments this calendar year, barring injury, with 3 LIV events remaining. Finally, Rory McIlroy comes up with a solution. The Irishman is competing in the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship this week in St Andrews, Scotland, like many other LIV Golf circuit stars. And much like his usual way, he didn't hesitate in sharing his opinions on the Saudi-backed beginning circuit once again. So, McIlroy told reporters that LIV continues to divide the sport, which isn't really helpful to any of the parties involved. I don't want a fractured game. I never have. One of the biggest contentions is that those on the LIV circuit have also asked about receiving official world golf ranking points, which McIlroy doesn't view as an issue, given that LIV is home to some strong golfers. But with the LIV only playing 3 rounds of 54 holes in each event, and the PGA Tour playing 4 rounds, McIlroy believes that there must be some type of compromise if that's to happen. And for that to actually happen, there need to be more standard criteria. After all, the LIV circuit has 54 holes right now, so how can the points be justified? Either way, this civil war in the sport is here to stay, as Greg Norman has made it clear that there is not going to be a truce anytime soon. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think people are scheming against Reed, or is it just in his head? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.